Welcome again to the second session of S. Achutha Warriors Tribals of Kerala. So far, we have seen how Professor Warrior discussed about the early inhabitation in Kerala, how the tribes of Kerala and Australoids are related, and what were the tribes of Kerala which inhabited the Wayanad, Nilagiri, Attapadi hills, and they constitute Paniya tribe, Kurcher tribe, Irula, then Muduannanmar, Malayar, Ulladanmar, Malavedar, Kanika, and how the tribes of Kerala belong to the Dravidian family, to be more precise, the Dravidian family of languages. Let's move on to how Professor Warrior describes the social life of the tribes of Kerala. He says that tribes of Kerala, they live in gotrams or communities under Ganam or cluster. And each Ganam or cluster, they adopts a unique symbol. It can be anything like a tree or animal. Why are they adopting such a unique symbol? It is just to ensure their social unity. And the symbols can include neem tree, kadamba tree, fish, or bow. And the places to gather food and food thus gathered via fishing or hunting are regarded as common property, whereas ornaments, utensils, and weapons they are regarded as private ownership. So Gotra comes under Ganam. Blood relations are determined by the Gana, and blood relations determine the rights and duties of each member of the cluster or Gana, which in turn were based on descent. And in the tribes of Kerala, you can find two systems. One is patrilineal system, another is matrilineal system. Matrilineal system was followed by the tribal clusters or the tribal ganas, which were into farming mostly because the women of these tribes largely resorted to agriculture and related labor. Pulayar, then Parayar, Kanika, Malabandarams of the erstwhile Travancore region, and of course Kurichir of Malabar region. They all followed a matrilineal system, and their main occupation was agriculture and related labor, and they are not to follow as the matrilineal system. And here we find that father had no or little authority over his offspring. Instead, they had a close relationship between a male and his Anandaravan. Anandaravan, that is the male sister's son. And the property is transferred to those who had the right to perform the after-death rituals of the elder. And there was patrilineal system too, but patrilineal system was followed by tribal clusters or tribal ganas, which were into cattle growing mostly. And why they followed patrilineal system? Because cattle growing was mainly done by men of these tribes. So as I told you before, blood relations determine the rights and duties of each member of the cluster or Gana, which in turn were based on descent. And we find that there are several terms which originated because of this tradition. They include Anandaravan, that is male successor, Anandaraval, female successor, Anandaravagasham, successful rights. All these are derived from this tradition. There were marriages between the children of sisters and brothers, that is between Morappan and Morachakkan. These are quite common among the tribes of Kerala. And there was, of course, the tradition of marrying a brother's widow, which was very common in the tribes of Kanika and Muduanna. There was also community feud. Community feud is known to be as Kudipaga. This was quite prevalent in the tribes of Kerala. If one member of a community was attacked or humiliated by a member of another community or Gotram, the entire Gotram or community will take it upon himself to avenge or revenge him or her. So this was the primary responsibility of Gotra or community. Uh, Very recently, to select one member from each Gotra or community to fight each other will decided the merit of the issue. And Vatkan Patagal, you might have heard about Vatkan Patagal, um, and Vatkan Patagal, which was made famous with in many Malayalam movies like Urvarakan Veeragatha. So Varakan Pattugal, they give the heroic stories of Kudipaga or community feud between different Gotras or community or groups. And the Gotram leader, he plays the or she plays the mediator in case of any internal conflict and decides on the penalties for violating rules. And see the picture. Professor Warrier then move on to the rituals and worship of the tribes of Kerala. The tribes of Kerala, they usually worshipped Kali, hill gods, that is Maladevangal, and Muttappan, besides natural forces. Uh, Muttappan, Muttappan, he is the representative of the ancestors of the Gotra or community. And worship to Muttappan really substantiate or proves the cult of worshipping the dead. Then they give more importance to the goddess Kali. You can find two versions of Kali. One is enraged version of Kali, another is calm version of Kali. Enraged version of Kali is seen in different manifestations like Kali, Rekta Kali, Mahakali, Chamundi, and Rekta Chamundi. Uh, the tribals believe that the anger of Kali or Kali Amman may lead to flood, drought, and epidemics, that is, diseases. Uh, and they made the goddess happy, that's Kali goddess happy, with milk, blood, and alcohol. Kotavai or Kotravai, uh, she is the goddess of war, a, a manifestation of Kali. She is widely worshipped as the goddess of war, and she can be appeased before and after the battles or scuffles between two Gotras or communities. Sangam literature or Sangam works of literature give a detailed elaboration of a Kali goddess in their works. And you can also find a calm version of Kali besides this enraged version of Kali. And calm version of Kali is the goddess of fruitfulness, blessings, and progeny of fertility. And there were also rituals during celebrations and get-togethers. In this, there were ritual dances, that is, they sing, dance, and dine together during these celebrations and get-togethers. See the pictures given over here. There were ritual dances like Pulikali, that is leopard dance, Kaduvakali, that is tiger dance, and Kummatikali. And in all these dances, you can find, especially in Pulikali and Kaduakali, you find the tribes, they play the roles of both prey and hunter. Uh, the famous Pulikali of Trishupuram is very known to you. You can trace back its origin to this Pulikali. So here we find that the tribals, they disguised as animals with the befitting attires or costumes and face masks, and they depicted or showed the brave and daring acts of the past hunting-based living, and such dances were held during marriages, harvest, then during the feast of the hill gods or the Maladevangal, and other special occasions. And there were also uh, rituals of the dead, or there were the funeral rites. Usually they bury the dead, and at times they bury the materials used by the deceased or the dead ones along with him or her. Tribes like Malaria, they leave memory stones at the burial sites, and this was something which was very common among the Australoid race. And again, this proved that they have the tribes of Kerala have its origin from Australoids. And we have already seen the images of Nannangadi, then Muniara, uh, all these depicted or substantiated the rituals followed by the tribes of Kerala with regard to the dead. Then again, we find that by saying about the tribes of, stating about the descent of the tribes of Kerala from Australoids, their social life, again, their worship, their rituals, Professor Warrier comes to a conclusion. He says that the tribes of Kerala, they are facing some issues or crises. As you know, that tribals spend most of the time in the forest to hunt or collect forest resources. Now they face a great crisis because of several reasons, which includes, that is, forest areas. They are dwindling considerably or decreasing considerably, and it is also known that forest resources are also becoming very less nowadays. And most of the tribals, they have resorted to small scale farming and labor in the nearby plantations. And these tribals are exploited in many ways, as they are sparse. The sparse means they are small in number, but they spread across very large areas. They're sparse in number, and they are also unorganized. And because of that, there is a great chance of losing their indigeneousness. And government have taken initiatives, that is, protective and welfare measures are initiated by the governments for the tribes, and this have critically changed their lives with regard to their habitat, education, health, ways of dressing, and language. And this has also a great disadvantage, because these measures may also lead to the loss of their indigenous culture. So this essay, Tribals of Kerala, they throws lights on the early historic human migration across continents, and thus establishes the all-human brotherhood. It also gives a detailed description regarding the lives and culture of the tribes of Kerala. Professor Vary states that the tribes who came to Kerala as early as 4000 BC, they are the first people to inhabit Kerala. He also shows how Kerala's popular culture is indebted to tribal culture. The general attitude of the Indians to Adivasis and their lives is to be changed, because he thinks that it has been inherited from the colonial masters. Because the Europeans always consider tribals as savages and uncivilized or uncouth or barbaric, and they believe that the tribals should be given modern education to save them. Even today, we follow this colonialist attitude to the Aboriginals. So we have to develop a new sensibility towards the diverse issues faced by the tribal people. And Tribals of Kerala by Professor Warrier is an eye-opener to the issues faced by tribes of Kerala. Thank you. Thank you for the time being.